Okay.
2 sentences, really? That long?
That's a long one, dude.
And welcome to Overtime, brought to you by KingsCast at www.kingscast.net. I'm Keith Korneluk.
And I'm Chris Kalazewski.
What's happening, Chris?
Yeah, we're back.
Good to see you. Back in studio. KingsCast Studios, you can now check in on Foursquare.
That's right. It's good to be back, Keith. Had the Roundtable Series, which I say was a huge success. Lots of informative opinion out there.
It was a hit. It was a hit, Chris.
It was. Special thanks to everyone who participated and watched that. Tonight we're back going to talk about the award show. We're going to talk about the Ryan Smith situation. And we're going to say goodbye to a dear friend.
Very, very dear. So here we go. It is episode 114 entitled June Boom.
All right, Keith, so the NHL Awards show took place tonight in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And, exciting time. We had a chance to go party out there, but we did not. I had to decline the offer. What are you going to do?
Well, when you're VIPs in Los Angeles,
Yeah, exactly. But the award show, again, sans really a lot of kings. Dustin Brown obviously up for the NHL Foundation Award, which, let's face it, is up there with the Vezina and the Hart.
Oh, it's probably more important, actually. It was a very interesting show, if you caught it. And surprise, surprise, the Los Angeles Kings haven't had a trophy in their case since, the late 90s. Dustin Brown won the award for the NHL Foundation Award.
Yeah, hey, congratulations to Brownie. Obviously well-deserved. Yeah, it's a newer award. It's been around for 11 years, and the trophy's, newer looking. It's, clear. But we'll take it. And something to put in the trophy case, which we desperately need. So, yes.
Yeah, so, I guess the big thing going on Twitter was Corey Perry won the Hart Trophy. To me, very well-deserved. The guy had 50 goals. Lots of Kings fans just, being really offensive towards him and things like that. My question is why? Well, my real question is, do you watch hockey outside of the Los Angeles Kings? Because Corey Perry, hell of a season, very well-deserved, and really no surprises.
No, the guy had 50 goals. Give him a break.
Seriously.
He had 20 in 20 games or something like that down the stretch. So, whatever. He won it. Obviously, we don't like the Ducks. But let's talk about these awards. It's always been without the Kings, it seems like. Last year, obviously, Doughty was there as a nominee for the Norris. But do you see any Kings being there next year?
Yeah, I do, actually. I think Anze Kopitar finished 10th in voting for the Selke Trophy. Obviously, his season was cut short. A lot of people had him for the Lady Byng. I think you could see, Kopitar, who's going into that defensive role to, maybe get nominated for those kinds of things. Maybe not winning next year, but definitely there. We hope to definitely see Drew Doughty back at Norris. The other guy, we've been saying it for years, quick for Vezina. It's going to happen eventually.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's going to win it, but I could definitely see him being a nominee one of these days. The Kings defense stays the way they are, keep playing really well. The depth is there. I think that he'll have a chance to be a nominee for the Vezina someday. Now, Norris, we hope the Doughty will be back someday. The one we really need, in my book, is the Calder. We need a Calder.
We do.
We really do. Next year, if you look at it, I guess we can hope that a guy like Shen can be up there and have, you got to have at least 60 points, it seems like, to get that.
You do.
Possible, yes.
Braden Shen, I think definitely going to anchor that second line for many, many years. Is he a Logan Couture or a Jeff Skinner? Point one, Couture put up 30 goals and still didn't win.
Yeah.
He was my vote, personally. You know what? Who cares? What I want is a Stanley Cup. Now, the Kings actually had a little bit of news coming up. Ryan Smith has gently requested a trade to the Edmonton Oilers. Now, there was some back and forth. The Edmonton Journal got him quoted as saying that he didn't know where this was coming from. He never asked for that. But Helene Elliott and Rich Hammond, who, of course, did some digging, it seems that they did reach out, that there have been some talks between the Kings and the Oilers. Chris, what do you think about this whole thing?
Just when you think there's going to be a drama-free summer for the Kings, that we're just going to pick up a whoever and a role player, depth sign here and there over the summer. Dean Lombardi does nothing. You get drama like this. You get one of your top 6 players, one of the leaders on your team, essentially demanding a trade. It's a bummer. The first thing I thought was, okay, this guy only thinks he has a year left, and he wants to go end it in Edmonton, And the second thing I thought was, maybe he doesn't think the Kings are going to be there next year. I don't really know about that, but that's kind of what I thought. But we watched this guy hobble down the stretch, and found out that his back was killing him. Maybe he only has a year left. I don't know.
Well, I think the stranger thing for me is that going back to Edmonton is a step back. I mean, I think if they do the right thing and they draft Adam Larson in the first round, maybe sign another depth defenseman, they could squeak into the playoffs, exit in the first round, same way the Los Angeles Kings did. And a guy like Ryan Smith would really help them. But the Kings, we might be in on Brad Richards or whatever. Lombardi says he's looking to upgrade our offense. If we're able to do that, we go to that contender status. So I think we're winning a cup next year, no, but I don't think the conference finals is out of reach if we make the right plays in the offseason. So what that's telling me is, Ryan Smith wants to be close to his family, and a cup isn't necessarily as important. The other rumor out there is that he likes being the star, and when he's not, he, gets a little ornery. Well, I don't know. To me, Ryan Smith's a stand-up guy. He's Captain Canada. He's got character. I think if they can't find a trade, which, let's be frank, is not going to be more than a third or fourth round pick for Ryan Smith, I think he'll definitely play his heart out. But the bigger question for me is if Ryan Smith does get traded, we're missing another top six forward, and that's expecting Scott Parse to come in, which, it's all crap, really, when it comes to Scott Parse, in my opinion. Yeah. What do? We got the cap space to sign Brad Richards, but there's going to be other players in that game.
Yeah, the Kings still have to do something. If they do trade him, like you said, it's going to be a mid-round pick, hopefully. We dump the salary, and, we go after Richards, probably not going to happen, but you put an awful lot of pressure on the young players. And I know that Dean Lombardi wants them to get better. I know we all expect everyone to get better, but Scott Parse, it's like we have two positions now to fill in the top six, and still need that left winger. And now we're hoping Scott Parse and Loktianov and Schenn can kind of fill those gaps there. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like you take a step back there. So.
Well, Dean Lombardi talked about, or the Kings talked about, putting Braden Schenn on the wing to get him started. I think Loktianov, that experiment on the wing doesn't work. He's definitely a center, but that's a really young second or third line or however that goes. So I'm not seeing a huge fit there. Something needs to happen, and we're used to Lombardi, not necessarily whiffing on free agents, but, other general managers overpaying to hell and back for these people. So, God, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'd love the cap space if we can sign the right guy, but, Ryan Smith put up 20 goals. He can hopefully still do that.
Yeah, I mean, another question is on the flip side, if they don't go after draft pick, maybe they get, a rostered player from Edmonton, but the question is who? I mean, obviously Hall, Eberle, MPS, those guys are off limits. I mean, they're not going to trade any of those guys. So do we get a Hemsky?
Cogliano?
Yeah.
I don't even think we could get Hemsky for Ryan Smith.
I don't want to become, Edmonton South. I don't want their rejects. We already have Penner we're dealing with and hoping he gets better. So big questions going into the offseason with this one. We'll see what happens.
So now we're coming up on the draft, which is this weekend in Minnesota, Friday, Saturday. Kings lack a first round pick. Got picks in the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh round, whatever. I don't know. For me, I don't see Lombardi really doing anything.
In terms of trading the pick?
No, I'm sure he'll, trade late round picks to move up, move down for next year, that kind of thing. But I don't think we're going to see any splash whatsoever.
No, I don't. And I mean, I don't, number 49, that's our pick. Who's on the radar? Hopefully not another defenseman. I think we're good there. And I think, we'll hopefully go after a forward. But I don't even know, weak draft class. It's not going to be very sexy for the Kings, I don't think.
You got to give credit to the, Mike Food and this scouting staff because they do a great job of finding these gems. Wayne Simmons not even rated by Central Scouting, drafted in the second round, and he turned out pretty good. So I think you take those high-risk, high-reward people. Now all of our goaltenders have graduated junior with Berube, probably going to open up in the ECHL next year. Maybe you draft one goaltender. Probably not in the second round, but, I'm looking for people with speed because our guys with skill, the Lyndon Vays and Tyler Toffoli's, can't really skate. You know what I mean? So I'm looking for somebody who can skate, somebody who's got soft hands and can score, and preferably is a winger. But please, no centers or defensemen.
Yeah, definitely. So, we'll see what happens, but we'll be there. Not at the actual draft, but
watching it on TV.
We'll be watching it on TV.
Yeah.
All right, Kings fans, so the summer is here, and it's time to make those tough decisions, and it's time to say goodbye to a couple people. Now, I know nothing's official yet, but we here at KingsCast would like to say see ya to a friend, and that friend is Alexei Ponikarovsky.
Pony. The Kings brought you in at a non-discounted rate of $3.4 million as a Kovalchuk alternative. Hell, I prefer Russians over Ukrainians anyway, so we most likely gots to say, see ya!
Pony, some say you had a decent playoffs, using that big body to gain position and establish a physical game. Well, those people are idiots. You were benched 2 games and you sucked. So we're about 95% sure that we're going to be saying, see ya!
Alexei, after all was said and done, you had 5 goals and 10 assists for 15 points. Dude, Rob Scuderi had 15 points, so we most likely probably gots to say, see ya!
Ponikarovsky, before the season started, we all thought you'd be an imposing presence in the corners. Yeah, maybe in the corner of the locker room when everyone was avoiding you. So listen, comrade, I think it's time, because we gots to say, see ya!
right, Kings fans, so we'll be right back at you, after the draft, or I don't know, it's the summer.
Maybe during the free agent frenzy that's bound to not happen for the Kings.
And for the record, we are not doing a waiting for Brad Richards.
Saying that right now, can't relive that magic. It's like doing a remake of Casablanca or something. Just can't be done.
You compared Waiting for Kovalchuk to Casablanca.
Yes, I did.
Awesome. So I'm Keith Kornelek.
And I'm Chris Kalzewski.
And thank you for watching Overtime by KingsCast.